Okay, now that we had discussed about all different types of distribution mechanisms, we will talk about multi-channel retailing. Multi-channel retailing is basically a business model where a company sells the products or services through multiple marketing channels rather than using just one channel, and all of these multiple channels are used simultaneously. Say for example, in the last module the last segment I had discussed about there being a stores channel and an online channel. The stores channel is the physical channel or the brick and mortar channel that we generally see in the physical space, whereas the internet channel is the online retail channel that we are available we see in the format of Amazon, Flipkart, etc., etc., etc. Now a company might be choosing to use both these channels, and which is when now the company has two channels that it has used. Now there could be a case where the company uses both of these channels and it also has a teleshopping model, or it also has a catalog based channel that is in place. So why does a company decide to have multiple channels? There are a few reasons, I will discuss all of them, but in most cases you will find that the product is available to the consumer through multiple channels, and this kind of a business model where the company uses multiple channels to reach out to the customer is known as multi-channel retailing. So when a company decides to use a direct as well as indirect channel wherein I will have exclusive stores, at the same time I will have other channel partners who will take the product to multiple locations, it is one format of multi-channel retailing. When I make sure that my product is available both in the physical space as well as in the online space, like many of the mobile phone manufacturers do, they are getting involved in multi-channel retailing. In case I am a movie service provider, I make sure that the movie is available through online streaming mechanisms and also as DVD formats which are available in the physical stores, then I am also getting into multi-channel retailing. So any business which is involved in making sure that the product is available to customers through multiple channels, more than one channels, is getting into multi-channel retailing. Now the reason why companies get involved in multi-channel retailing are basically because in many cases there is a chance of increasing the reach that you have when it comes to the entire marketplace, or you are able to reach out to or capture the entire market or a large share of the market when you use more than one channel. Like I discussed earlier, different customers have different preferences to what channel they want to use. Some customers are more prone to use the internet channel, some customers are more traditional and want to use a physical channel. Now in case you are using only or you are available only in one of these channels, then the chances that you are capturing the entire market or a big share of the market is very little. So that is why many times by being present on both these channels, you are able to provide your products to the customer who is looking for online purchases. At the same time, your products are also available for customers who are looking to buy them in the traditional format. So hence you are able to reach out to a larger number of customers if you are available in multiple channels. You are able to provide greater assortments because now you have different channels, and in these different channels you can position different products. Say for example, if you have two products which are for different different segments of customers, you are able to provide these two products through different channels, and thereby you are able to have different products positioned in different channels. There is low cost and there is consistent execution that is required when it comes to multi-channel. Say for example, if you are only present in one channel, then you might have to incur a large amount of investment to make sure that that channel is able to fulfill all the requirements that you have and reach out to all the customer groups that you are looking for. And it is something that might need to be extremely dynamic in order to increase the market share. But if you are in multiple channels, then by virtue of being in multiple channels, you are able to reach out to a large segment of customers without having to invest heavily and without having to incur a huge amount of cost here. Information is easily available and information can be easily disseminated to customers. Many channels are more information providing as compared to more product fulfillment. Say for example, there are a lot of companies out there which will have exclusive stores which are there to showcase new products and services rather than actually selling products and services. So for dissemination of information, multiple channels is better. There is increasing possibility that you can satisfy customers and gain loyalty of customers when they are shopping from specific channels that they are interested in. So like I mentioned, there are customers who have different requirements and different interests when it comes to different channels. So hence in many cases you have the possibility that you will be able to gather satisfaction and gain loyalty of customers who are given the opportunity to purchase the products in the specific channel that they are looking for. When you have multiple channels and when you reach out to larger number of customers, you have the opportunity of gathering as much more insights from data that you collect from all of these channels. You are able to expand the market presence. Like I told you, when you are in multiple channels, the chances that you are able to be reaching out to a large segment of or many segments of customers is also higher. It can be built on as a strategic advantage, because many times when you are reliant on only one channel, then you basically are in a disadvantageous position, because that one channel, in case it is not doing well, or in case something disrupts that channel, then there is going to be a problem wherein your products and services are not available for customers to purchase. But being on multiple channels, now you have divested your risk in such a way that many a times customers, you are able to reach and have a presence in the market even if one channel isn't doing that great. And in many cases, if you are able to provide an integrated experience to customers, then you are able to provide the customer with the kind of experience that is not available with a lot of other competitors. So that again can become a strategic advantage for you. And there are these concepts of intermediation and disintermediation which are also critical here, because many times when you have multiple channels, you have to think about whether or not more intermediaries are required, or whether or not intermediaries have to be removed. So whenever you are thinking about adding more channels or adding more intermediaries into the channel mechanism, we call that process intermediation, while when you are thinking about removing existing channel partners from the entire channel mechanism, we call them disintermediation. So these are all decisions that you have to keep thinking and keep revisiting in order to make sure that the multi-channel retailing approach is appropriate. So having introduced multi-channel retailing, which is a business model that many manufacturers use to use multiple channels to reach out to customers, we also have to discuss about channel conflict. Now one has to understand that when you are using multiple channels to reach out to customers, there is always going to be a conflict that might arise between these multiple channels, or between channels and the manufacturer, because of this multi-channel approach. And the reasons why such conflict arises is predominantly because all the different intermediaries that we talk about in a marketing channel are independent entities. Say for example, a retailer and a manufacturer are both organizations which have their own specific interest and their own specific objectives to be in the marketplace. Say for example, if I take three companies, if I take the case of a big FMCG manufacturer, if I take the second example of having a big online retailer, and the third an organized retailer like Big Bazaar, Reliance, etc. Now all three of them are really big corporations who have objectives of their own. Now when they feel that the one of the channel partners or the manufacturer is not acting in their interest, they are now going to be not so integrative in their efforts to make sure that the manufacturer is doing well, or to make sure that the other channel is gaining at their cost. Say for example, when we take the conflict between online and traditional channels when it comes to the price of the product, many times you would have found that the price of the product is cheaper when it comes to online retailing stores as compared to the traditional retail stores. Now because of this, people do not want to buy products from the traditional retail stores, while they want to buy more and more from the online retail channel. This creates a conflict. This creates a conflict because now many of the traditional retail stores are not getting their objectives fulfilled. They are not getting the kind of sales, they are not getting the kind of revenues, they are not getting the kind of margins, and they are not getting the kind of customer relationships and loyalty that they expect from customers. So many of these entities who are in the physical retail scenario are going to have problems which they are now going to highlight to manufacturers. So much so that many times these physical retailers might not want to carry the products of manufacturers where consumers are not going to buy from their store, because for every product that is put on the shelf, there is a requirement that it has to be sold in order to generate revenues for the retailer. So such kinds of scenarios often play themselves when it comes to multi-channel retailing. When it comes to multiple channels, there are different ways in which different channels operate. There are different things that are important for different channels, and there are different ways in which these channels are managed. And there cannot be a situation where all of these channels are going to work in unison, or it's a difficult proposition to think about. So that is where channel conflict is something that is inherent, and channel conflict is something that many a times the manufacturer has to now really take care of and really manage, so that there can be channel coordination and channel conflict can be minimized. So one way of effectively managing channel conflict and making sure that the conflict can be reduced is by using different power bases that are present when it comes to marketing channels. Now the power is basically the ability of one channel partner or one channel member to influence the behavior of another channel member. So if I as a manufacturer have the ability to influence the behavior of a retailer, then it means that I have certain power over the retailer. If the retailer has more power than me, then the retailer might be in a situation to influence my behavior because of the power situation between the retailer and the manufacturer. So consider, for example, if I am somebody like Procter and Gamble, and you are or the other channel partner that I am talking about is a small kirana store, then because of the power situation, Procter & Gamble will be in a scenario where they can dictate terms and they might be able to influence the behavior of the Kirana store, because Procter & Gamble being a big manufacturer is going to be much more powerful when it comes to the retail space. The Kirana store owner is now dependent on Procter & Gamble, because a lot of products that the customers want are to be procured from Procter & Gamble. So that is how power scenarios between manufacturer and a small retailer is concerned. Say for example, if I am a small manufacturer, I am a new entity into the soap market in the country, and I am now dictating, I am now deciding to do business with a big retailer like Amazon or a big retailer like Big Bazaar. So in this scenario, Amazon and Big Bazaar in the retailer becomes much more powerful as compared to the manufacturer, because of the amount of business that I can get from these retailers as compared to other places in the market. So that is where channel power is something that is exceptionally critical in managing conflicts, and channel power is basically derived out of 5 basic power bases. The first one is reward power, the second one is coercive power, the third one is legitimate power, the fourth one is referent power, and the last one is expert power. Now, reward power is the ability of one channel partner to influence the other channel partner's behavior by providing rewards for favorable behavior. Say for example, as a manufacturer, I can say that in case the retailer is providing exceptionally great customer service, then I will give you extra margins, I might increase the amount of stocks that you have provided, I might give you other benefits which are positive rewards that I am giving you for certain behavior that you are displaying. In some cases, rather than giving you the rewards, I might actually punish you. So that is what coercive power is. Many times you would have seen that if retailers are not taking care of the product warehousing in a proper sense, that the product are going to get damaged, etc., there is going to be a penalty that most of these manufacturers are going to put on the retailer. So that is where a punishment is used as a technique to make sure that the behavior is tuned to what I want. So that again is a power base. So reward and coercive power are two of the very obvious power bases. The third one is legitimate power, because most of the times there is a contractual obligation between channel partners, and I can use legal measures to make sure that the desired behavior is displayed by the channel partner. So that is where legitimate power comes into the picture, which is about providing a legal backing or a contractual backing to the kind of behavior that you expect from the person. Referent power is where both the channel partners have a common objective, and this common objective is the reason why you will have certain behavior displayed by the channel partner. And expert power is basically the power that a channel partner has over another channel partner or the manufacturer, because of the expertise that they have in the category of products or services that we are talking about. Say for example, if I am a retailer who has been in business of selling computers and computer related products for many years, and I am considered as an expert in this category of products by the market, then the manufacturer will have to come to me and will have to do business somewhat in the ways that I want the manufacturer to do, because of this expertise that I have. So reward power, coercive power, legitimate power, referent power, and expert power are the 5 bases of power that can be used by a channel partner to ensure that a favorable behavior is displayed by the other channel partners. And in this, the first 3 are considered to be hard power bases, and the last 2 are considered to be softer power bases. Now many times when conflicts arise, you have to try to reduce and manage and diffuse this conflict by using power bases which are in your favor. So you can strategically use either of any one of these 5 power bases to make sure that the conflict can be reduced, and you can have a seamless integration between multiple channels by making sure that you can use your power base. So if you think that providing rewards to the channel partner can be a way by which the multi-channel conflicts can be reduced, then that can be a scenario that can be thought about. If you think that providing coercive power or providing punishments is a way, then that can be used. If you think that there is going to be certain channel conflicts that can be reduced by having legal measures taken or by putting it down in contract terms, that can be used. So that is why these different power bases should be strategically used to make sure that you have the right kind of atmosphere and the right kind of channel integration that can be arrived at. Now channel management is more and more important today, because there are more channels that are coming up every single day. You will find that there is more technology, there are more ways by which you are reaching out to customers, there are more fragmented customer bases, segments are increasing, there is mass customization happening, and because of all of this there is a lot of diversity with respect to the number of available channels that exist. And when we discuss the different formats of retail stores, etc., you will get this in a much better sense, that there are a lot of different channels that exist, and it is not possible that companies cannot be in a multi-channel scenario. And when you are in multi-channel scenario, channel conflict is something that you have to think about. The second thing is because the expectation of the customer is changing. So the customer goes to one channel, learns from that channel, and now expects the same thing from another channel. Say for example, you have online channels that provide free home delivery. When you go to a physical traditional channel, the customer now expects that there is going to be also free home delivery or cash on delivery or easy replacement of products, etc., which might be difficult in that channel. So customers' expectations are changing, because of which now there is going to be more and more possibilities that there is going to be channel conflicts that happen. There is shift and balance as channel power. There are more and more retailers are becoming powerful because of the kind of customer base that they command, especially in the online space. You will find that retailers like Amazon and Flipkart have a captive number of customers who are likely to do more and more business with them, because of which the channel power is or the balance of channel power is shifting towards the retailer as compared to the manufacturer. The manufacturer today is it doesn't have the kind of insights that are required, doesn't have the kind of information, doesn't have the kind of relationships with customers. So hence there is going to be a shift in channel power, which again becomes a very critical reason why there is going to be more and more channel conflict in the coming time. And one way by which companies are trying to reduce the channel conflict specifically between online and offline channels is by having something that is known as omnichannel. Now again, in one of the previous sessions I introduced what omnichannel was. Now omnichannel is where, rather than having multiple channels that are working isolated from one another, you are creating one single channel which has all of these different channels that seamlessly work together or are integrated so well that the customer can move between all of these different channels together. Say for example, on the picture you will find that there are two modes of delivery and two modes of information search that we are talking about. In the basic quadrant 1, you will find that we are talking about the mode of delivery where the customer is picking up the product from a physical store and the information is available from the physical store as well. And in the fourth quadrant you will find that the customer is getting the product delivered at home and information is available online. Now if you talk about the quadrant 1, which basically is the set of stores which basically are giving the customer an opportunity to pick up the product from the store, but information is available only from an offline or a traditional physical place. These are where the traditional physical brick and mortar stores operate. On the other hand, quadrant 4 is where the product is available to be delivered at your house and information is available online. This is where the pure play e-commerce companies or e-retailers operate. Now these are two models that have always been in conflict with one another since the time they have operated. Now omnichannel is a concept where we are also trying to integrate the other two quadrants that are here, wherein the customer can get information of the product from the store and can get the product delivered online, as well as the customer can get information about the product from the internet and go to the store and pick up the product. By doing so, now you have created an ecosystem where the customer can move between the store and his own house, wherein he can have delivery both in the store as well as delivery in by the product being delivered to his house. Information is available online as well as offline. One good example of such a mechanism can be found in a company called Lenskart in India. You found that Lenskart started off by providing retail operations for selling spectacles or specs for customers in the online space, but gradually they have now come into a physical space as well. So today you have the opportunity of going to the store and getting the product customized to your eye care requirements and picking up the product from the store. You also have the opportunity of going to the store and making sure that the product is now shipped to your house. So the quadrants 1 and 3 are taken care of in the physical stores, wherein you can have the product delivered to you in the house, or the product can be picked up from the store itself. Similarly, you can go and get the product information from the store as well as get the product information from the online source. It's easy for the customer to use all the 4 of these mechanisms without any conflict between all of those. So because of such kind of a mechanism, you have different channels, you still have the online and the offline channel, but because all of these is so seamlessly integrated, there is very little likelihood that there is going to be a conflict between these multiple channels, and you will have a lot of ease in attaining the end goal, which is more coordination among all of these channels. So omnichannel is one of the methods by which companies are trying to now reduce the conflict between the offline and the online store formats. There are other methods of doing this as well, but that we will discuss in the subsequent sessions. But most times when you have channel conflict, you have to think about getting into an omni-channel space, or you have to think about using one of the power bases so that you can now manage conflicts between different channel partners. So in this session today, we have discussed about what are marketing channels, what are the kind of distribution mechanisms, why multi-channel retailing or multi-channel distribution makes sense, what are the problems with multiple channels, what is channel conflict and what is channel power, and how is that you can achieve the end goal of channel coordination by either making use of the channel power basis more strategically, or by getting into an omni-channel format. So this is for today. In the next session, we are going to introduce a little bit about the Indian retail context and retail formats that you generally see in the Indian landscape. Thank you.